feel like we haven't talked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's hard to get a few minutes.
I know. I feel like every time I see you, I feel like you're with somebody. You're occupied.
No, right?
You're
Yeah.
so occupied.
So what do you think about all that today?
I think so like one thing like I don't like to be an emotional player.
Mhm.
So my thing was like obviously like Josh looks like the obvious choice
Yeah.
to send home. It really does.
Yeah.
But I know I'm very aware that it's always important to consider both.
Oh, definitely. There's
scenarios.
always,
As bad as it looks
Yeah.
to keep Josh, it's a thing to think about,
yeah,
right? And I've always been aware of that,
yeah.
as I think everybody else should.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You have to weigh out every
you
option.
have to, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I know some people really get caught up in the optics of like, oh, look what he did.
Yeah. No,
gotta send him
totally.
home 'cause we don't
Exactly.
like him
But
or-
sometimes look what he did is beneficial in certain circumstances.
For other people's
That's
games.
right.
Because like the reality of next week is looking like everybody's having, from my understanding, a really hard time gauging
Where people are and who's with who.
exactly and if anybody's HOH, who do you put up? Is it teams? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it not? Like what do you do?
There's so many variables that are
There's
going to
so
be
ex-
involved with next week's.
Exactly.
Like next week's HOH is probably going to be the pivotal point in the trajectory,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. It's
So
like
it's crazy. Huh?
Are you guys chatting? What are you chatting?
we're doing both.
back.
We're doing both.
We're
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
going back and
All
forth.
right, I'll
Yeah.
be back.
You know what I'm saying? Like next week's HOH is like, it's really where lines will start.
It's a
drawing
pivotal
lines
point in the game.
right?
Yeah.
And I know like we're in alliance together,
Hmm.
and it's like it's really important that like we're all on the same page.
Oh, absolutely.
And-
Because if we're on the page now, and the next one, and the next one, and so on and so forth, it's going to benefit every one of us.
Exactly, right? And I ran through scenarios today
Hmm.
where I looked at what happened in each scenario of who wins HOH
Yep.
moving forward. And it's sort of ugly if somebody on our side wins,
Mm.
it's a little bit harder on us.
Yeah.
Because it could end up that somebody from our lines could potentially have to go up,
Absolutely.
which is a little scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
If somebody on their side wins, for example, Latoya,
Yeah, there's more to choose from.
it's a prettier situation.
Oh, I
Latoya
agree.
can put up whoever's not in the alliance.
Yeah,
And there's like a lot of
yeah. She'd have like 3 to pick from. really,
a
three,
lot of
4 to pick
targets
from.
on the team,
Yeah.
right? So it's like that I've thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Who would I put up if I was HOH?
Yep.
I don't know.
I know, and because it's especially if you have the teams factored in, you have no choice but to put someone on the other side.
Yes.
Your really only options are Braden
Braden and
and Rowe. That's it.
Exactly.
That's your options, right?
Those
and then
are-
if POV ends up getting used, then you have to put one from our
It would
group.
depend on the alliance to make sure that
That's right.
person stays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we'd have to run those scenarios when they come,
Yeah.
right? But if you win HOH, I guess you'd have to do the same thing.
I would have to do the exact same thing if it's team based. If it's not team based, then it's
team-based.
different, right? But we don't know that. We're probably not going to know that until after the
Until
HOH.
after the
And that's going to be the twist of it all. If you knew beforehand, you could plan accordingly. But this is Big Brother. So my guess is that it's going to be assumed that it's played for teams with maybe the possibility that it's not.
Honestly, though, Tina, I think my move would have to be the same either way.
Mm.
Just because it's depending. The other thing is, too, is like there are things that happen in between that kind of help guide your decision.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we see the challenge. We see somebody do really poorly at the
Yeah.
challenge. That's usually an easy cop-out to be like, ah,
Yeah, well,
they
you
didn't
know,
do really well.
that's right, exactly. Or, you know, something gets back to you now, you said this, or whatever. There's always that one that's an easier person to put up.
Yeah, so there's always that. But I don't know if mine changes if it's full house, because the reality is those two haven't talked game to me ever.
Braden and Merle. Braden, he's very tight-lipped. Like I've really haven't had much game conversation with him. It's been more, my God, what do you think's gonna happen? But there's been nothing really kind of, this is who I'd go after, or this is who I'm safe with, or like he hasn't revealed anything like that to me, right? So no, I haven't spent much time talking to Braden about game for sure.
Yeah, and that's what worries me. It's like it's not clear to me Besides, like, him having Austin's back,
Yes.
it's not really clear to me where his targets would be.
No, and
Right-
if
right-
either of them, well, not that Austin can get HOH this week because she can't, but yeah, I wouldn't even know where Braden would fall.
Yeah, if Braden wins HOH,
Where would he go?
who's he targeting? Is it me? I don't know. Is it Kyle? I don't know. Is it Vic? Is it you? Is it Tara?
Like he's a wild card when it comes to that, right?
Because that really worries me.
It does, because you have no idea where his head's at all.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
Which may be the reason, like, he might ultimately.
Go up.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I
just
mean,
don't
if you
know.
well, that's the thing. If you don't know where someone's head at, or even you can't even guess as to where his head's at. That's the thing.
Because I could see a scenario where he puts up any one of us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anybody.
Oh, for sure.
He's not putting up Beth, I don't think.
No, because she's kind of kept in tight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Austin says she seems really comfortable with me and stuff like that. So I don't know if Austin would be in his ear, in terms to avoid not putting me up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he would put me up or not.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know. Tara, they could target too.
We could target Tara.
Just to target Tara.
Yeah.
Just cause.
Just because, yeah, she could be an easy option that way.
Yeah.
I don't think he wouldn't go for Vic. I don't think.
I don't think so either. So it really doesn't leave. It's really not a good situation. If Braden wins.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it, because even if there's a veto and then someone's backdoor, like, it's just not.
One of our 6 has to get it.
I agree. Best case scenario, it's Toya on their team, and then best case scenario on our team if it's me or you.
Yep.
Because the other sticky situation is if Beth wins. If she puts up Braden.
Yeah, because she's interconnected with
Austin and Braden.
multiple groups.
Yeah. So if she puts up Braden, it's a
Yeah.
little difficult.
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't be able to, right?
Wow. Yeah. And then she
Right. You know, how does that look in terms of her game, right?
Yeah, because then it looks
It's
like
like,
she
okay,
has
well,
to
you're-
be working with one of us.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna put up Keith
Yeah.
or
Yeah. So you're befriending Braden, and then all of a sudden you got to put him up. It wouldn't look good.
at all.
No.
It'd be very confusing.
Yeah.
So she would have to put one of them up and one of us up, and then ensure that the alliance saves that person.
What do you think Kyle or Rohan would do? Because
I think
they
Kyle-
are gonna gun for it.
I think Kyle goes for Toya,
Mm.
and Toya.
I don't know where
and-
Rohan is, because we haven't had much game talk, but they have indicated, hey, you should kind of
Who?
come chat with us.
Who? Kyle and Rohan.
yeah.
And that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't.
Which
even,
I'm okay with, because it gives me an opportunity to get information if I can.
And that's what I figured. They would want, just based on the numbers, they would want in with you, and like just the appearance of things, they would want to get you as a number for them.
Yep.
Right. But I think Kyle.
And obviously I'm loyal to 6, just so you know.
No, and so am I.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's such a perfect 6 because nobody
Would expect it.
suspects it.
Not one bit. Listen, me and Latoya are hanging out, right? And no one has questioned it to me at all in terms of, are you guys working together? Or I haven't heard of it. But I'm just playing it off as we just have a lot in common. We're chatting personal, right? And then we're not really chatting game, and everybody's fucking believing it. So
Exactly. No one would suspect me and you working together.
no,
Not a chance. Like, this is the first time we even sat down and talked. I was
Exactly.
more so trusting the alliance
that's
to
right.
intercommunicate the
That's right.
information.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the reality is like, it's perfect.
It is a perfect
Because
setup.
nobody, no. It only gets bad when people stop trusting
Absolutely, yeah.
and trusting the system.
Yeah. No, we have to trust it to the point where it's going to get us all to where we need to be,
Yes.
to the 6.
Yes. And there are times where we may have to go on the block but still trust it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but like, it'll eventually get to that point where there's not enough numbers to without.
No, you'll
exposing
have
it.
to, right?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, when I think of Kyle and Rowe, I worry because I don't think Kyle would go for Jed early. Because I
I don't think he would
I
either.
think Kyle, like, in my understanding, Kyle's like the guys. He doesn't want to go after the guys right away.
No,
So it
no,
seems.
and I get that vibe too.
So it seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my guess is that Kyle. Well, there's all guys on the other team, so Kyle would go for Toya, the only woman.
Yeah,
And then it's a little bit up in the air to me. It could be Braden.
I was thinking Braden.
I think there's a good chance it's probably
Yeah.
Braden.
Yeah, I would think.
Toya and Braden. And then he lets that one fester.
Mm.
So Kyle winning is not good for us.
No, not at
Kyle
all.
winning HOH is not good for us. Roe wins. I don't think Roe goes for me. And he doesn't go for Kyle.
I think Roe would make a semi-easy.
I think
Choice.
I think he puts you and Tina, or you and Tara. Sorry. up
Yep.
the block.
I think so too.
That's what I just think he would do.
Yeah,
He'd feel like that would be least blood on his hands for him.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So I think it goes down, or Beth is in that mix too.
Yeah, because I haven't seen him talk a whole lot of game with Beth either.
No.
So you're right. It could
It
be
could
Beth.
be Beth.
And I don't know. Has he had a lot of game
Or-
talk with Vic?
No, he hasn't.
So
hasn't
he
talked to
could
Vic.
he could do Beth and Vic.
He could do Beth and Vic. He also could put up Austin because Austin put him on.
Mm. And it would be an easy choice.
An
So then
easy
he
choice,
then he
you
only
know.
has to make the one extra choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
So Roe's a little bit unpredictable on that front,
Yeah.
but he may not put you up actually because if he was trying to work,
He's
with
trying,
Kyle,
and he's kind of indicated. We've kind of had some minor discussions in terms of, oh, next week's going to be interesting, blah blah, all that shit, right?
Mhm.
But he's indicated that hey, I like your vibe, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So the impression I'm getting is that he wants to try and work something.
Okay. I also get a vibe they're trying to work with Tara. Kyle and Roe. I just that's how I feel in my gut.
Well, she right now she's a swing, right?
Yeah.
She's not connected to anyone.
Yeah.
She could be, but they just don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? But I don't think she's connected with anyone, so to speak.
It doesn't. That's what she's communicated.
Yeah.
So it's like, but